What's a good movie where the good guys lost? I DK about Lost, but say 7 and didn't feel like a win at the end. The argument that Kevin Spacey's character made was pretty sound. As messed up as it was to use it to justify what he did, he enjoyed it. I don't think we should set up strict punishment for these sins, so to speak. But we do tolerate these issues in society. Misery. Paul managed to survive his experience with Annie. At the cost of his leg and the thumb, he managed to write an amazing book and get exceptional notoriety. But the sad reality is that he never truly escaped. For the rest of his life, he will always be haunted by the dirty birdie known as Annie Wilkes. The Dark Knight, the Joker succeeded in corrupting Harvey Dent, forcing Bruce to have to take the fall to save face. Not a pun for Dent, as the morale fallout would have been a huge detriment for Gotham. And pretty much all the movie, the Joker was one step ahead of Batman, even until the end. Unforgiven, you think Clint Eastwood is the good guy and Gene Hackman is the bad guy, but in the end you realize that's reversed. Eastwood is just the cold-blooded killer. Hackman may be harsh in his methods, but he's a sheriff doing his job in a pretty lawless society. XOB, das Boot. Hear me out. Get past the fact that they're German sailors in WWII. They're not portrayed as evil Nazis, while the First Loot certainly is. The crew is obviously protagonist, and you sympathize with them, so subjectively good guys here. Fellowship of the Ring. Gandalf is dead. Merry and Pippin are taken by the orcs. Boromir succumbed to the ring, sort of redeemed himself and dying. And Frodo has seen how the kingdom will fall if he fails. Also, Gimli learns his cousin family has been slaughtered. A Bridge Too Far, 1978. It's an epic WW2 movie with an all-star cast and amazing action sequences. It's about Operation Market Garden, which was one of the biggest operational failures by the Western Allies and ended in a German victory. Monsters University. It teaches that Mike and Sully did everything right and in the end still lost in a way where losing what they wanted was not the end. They had to start over, and they did. And that led to their eventual success. The Bicycle Thief immediately comes to mind. It ends with the protagonist admitting defeat and goes home empty-handed. It's one of my favorite films for this reason. Org Wiki Bicycle Thieves. The Dark Knight. At best, Batman gets a Pyrrhic victory. The Usual Suspects. Following the one with Denzel Washington and John Goodman, because there's probably a lot of movies called that. The Thing, 1982. Iplish. The fact that Andrew gave up a balanced life to be obsessed with playing drums and impressing Terence Fletcher at the end of the movie tells us he basically lost his life right then and there. Say 7N. True. In Bruges. I appreciate people will have different opinions on good guys in those movies, but they are just what came to mind. Revenge of the Sith. The good guy turns bad. The bad guy kills children, kills the heroes, and demolishes democracy. It's a real downer. Watchmen. Ozzy accomplished what he wanted, and they all had to give up and be complicit. Rorsch died because he refused to carry the lie. Fiddler on the Roof. Tevi's family is broken up after the pogrom and the entire town goes their separate ways. Amazing movie. Real Steel is a great example of this, honestly. It's a great bonding movie between dad and son with fighting robots. Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. Technically, they are outlaws, but they are the good guys too. Rogue One. The moment they realize they're not getting off the planet, but have to keep going. Game of Thrones. Good guys may be a bit foggy there, but the winners are never good. Gotta say, No Country for Old Men. Still one of the most intense movies I've ever seen. Probably less traditional good guy, bad guy, but The Usual Suspects and Primal Fear. Law-abiding citizen. I DC what anyone says. Gerard Butler was the good guy in there. The protagonists die in Das Boot. Not sure I'd call them the good guys though. The Usual Suspects is a good one. The Good Thieves and The Good Cop both lost. Funny Games. Watch the German one. It's better than the English remake. Star Trek: The Wrath of Khan. Spock dies. Kirk loses his best friend. You could argue that the villain succeeds in his mission in Skyfall. Apocalypto. Ultimately the bad guys will lose to other bad guys. Casino. Yes, Casino. Give it some deep thought. you'll get it. This whole post feels like a spoiler, but Arlington Road, 47 Ronin. So wild that this was based on a true story. If we include director's cuts, Little Shop of Horror, Rocky. The first one is movie magic and an all-timer. Saving Private Ryan. Too depressing to watch twice.